Hello, this is Mark BH70. This is a lot of cicadas out here. This sound is a lot of cicadas out here. It is, I believe, July 13th, Tuesday, 2010. I call BroJustin, the white-haired man that talks about Christianity in great depth and to a great extent is very accurate, very different religious-wise. He's BroJustin on YouTube. I call him a mimicker. He, the dragonfly up there. He mimics what true Christianity is, and he throws in stuff that's really bad. One of the ways you know he's not a Christian is what he had said about Africa, that there's no way to bring it out of poverty. They're just a bunch of incapable people. He said, you could pour you could pour the net worth the United States in for 40 years or 20 years or whatever he said it was, into Africa, and it wouldn't change it, and 100 years later or whatever he said, it wouldn't change it. Africa, I believe, is not talked about very much, is being repressed by other countries. It's considered a place where people can be controlled. Of course, you don't have the statism, you don't have the masonry, it really originating there, that you have in Europe. You can see Masonic symbols in what BroJustin has on his videos. He does Masonic symbols. He says Africa can't take care of itself. There's nothing you can do to help Africa. The people are, basically, he says they're just incapable. He says something negative about the Italians. I'm Italian. I don't mind it because it sounded like, to me, an honest criticism. But he was critical of the Scots, dismissing them without an explanation. He being an Englishman. No, he's a bigot. He speaks of Africans, blacks, if you will, as being a cursed race. He's a bigot. He does the Masonic symbols with his hands. I don't know if this is well known or unknown or by the people that will watch this, but he's a bigot. He's a Mason. He does Masonic symbols. He thinks Africa is incapable of taking care of itself, which is completely and utterly false, and of course completely and utterly unbiblical. When you see people really proponing unbiblicality, things that aren't biblical, a lot, it's not just a matter of debate. They're unbiblical. Someone would say that about me, but when the Bible says God is not a respecter of persons, and BroJustin is, when Peter says that in Acts, and BroJustin, however, is a respecter of persons, he considers a Hamitic race a cursed race, apparently, which is, of course, the most of the ethnicities. I think about half the ethnicities of the world are Hamitic. The number of white ethnicities, and especially the number of Semitic ethnicities, is considerably lower than the number of Hamitic ethnicities. I believe that the Hamites make up ethnically, as far as the number of ethnicities, I believe that would be, it'd have to be over half the ethnicities of the world. They're all cursed, and yet they've become Christians. To me, that's not Christians are not a cursed state. Although there will be those that would disagree with me. He's a bigot. He's a Mason. He quibbles with the Scots, which are Scottish, which are the Scots. which to a large extent are the same, pretty much the same ethnicity he is, dismisses them without explanation, says there's something wrong with them. Well, he's, of course, this is not only ethnically and numerically, or as far as the number of ethnicities, numerically the number of ethnicities, but numerically the population of the earth is also, in his estimation, the way he considers it, a cursed people, because Hamites make up the majority of the population of the earth. So it's completely and utterly ridiculous, completely and utter unbiblical, and most importantly, completely and utterly unchristian. So as far as I can say, he's a mimic. He's gotten in and he's learned what's going on with Christians. He's gotten some information somehow, and he knows a lot about Christianity. He knows how it actually works. Real Christianity, authentic Christianity. And he's twisting it for you. He's twisting it. He's screwing with these people that want to follow Jesus Christ and people who are born again. He's screwing up. He's screwing them with their minds, for one thing. So, as far as what's going on with him personally, I guess I understand it. And at some point, some way, I might not understand it. It's not understandable to me by someone who would be like that. I think there's a positivity to the gospel, and he doesn't speak of that too much. His videos are basically no and not and all that stuff, which, Paul says, that with us, it's not yes and no, but it's yes. The Bible says it teaches us to say no to ungodliness. That Christianity teaches us to say no to ungodliness and worldly lusts, but there's a lot of yes to it. And even talking supposedly directly with Christians, there ought to be a lot more yes than there is no. All right? So a Mason, a bigot, a liar, because also, not even to mention at this point, up to this point, but he's also mentioning at this point, I say, a false teacher. Some of this stuff, it's provable biblically. Some of this stuff about babies being born with sin is completely Catholic doctrine. And in case you don't know, any contentious issue that's Catholic doctrine, in my estimation, I don't mean to offend Catholics at all, but I don't like the Catholic system. I don't like the Catholic Church. Is immediately in question, and basically almost immediately you're able to dismiss it. If it's an issue of contention, you can almost immediately dismiss Catholic doctrine, because it's not even based off the Bible. It skitters back and forth between the Bible, and that's what he picks up on. This born in sin from Adam, which is not what the Bible teaches. Once again, it's a misunderstanding of the Scriptures. God makes that plain. I'll be happy to show some scriptures about this. Thank you.